Now we're going to look at question number 5 for practice test 2. Just as in every other question, I'm going to take you through every single step, showing you exactly what you need to do to improve your score and do better on this section. First thing we're going to do is listen to a conversation. So again, this in the blue you want to have on your scratch paper. MW. You're always going to hear a man and a woman speak, two different voices. Also, you want the P, S, and R. This stands for the problem, the first solution, the response, the second solution, and then the response to the second solution. That helps you to prepare for exactly what you're going to hear. Now, this conversation is simple, but the preparation to give a good answer is a little difficult, so watch carefully. Let's go ahead and listen to that conversation.
Hey Shelley, did you finish registering for your classes?
Almost. I registered for all my classes except one, my advanced political science class.
Really? What's the problem?
Well, I want to take it with Professor Jenkins, but his class is early in the morning every Tuesday and Thursday, and I have a part-time job at the same time, so I don't know what to do.
Why don't you just take it with another professor?
That's just it. There's only one other professor who teaches advanced political science, Professor Wilson.
Ooh.
Exactly. I've never had a class with him before, but I've heard he's kind of boring and doesn't explain things very well, and this class is really important to me.
Or have you thought about, I don't know, if the class is that important to you, you could just quit your part-time job.
I was thinking about that, but I've been saving up the money for a new laptop.
Is your old one not working anymore?
It still works, but not very well. Sometimes it worries me that it'll stop working when I'm using it to write an important paper.
You could just write all of your important papers on a computer in the computer lab. That way, you'll still be able to take Professor Jenkins' class.
That doesn't sound like such a bad idea.
The speakers discussed two possible solutions to the woman's problem. Briefly summarize the problem, then state which solution you recommend and explain why.
All right, so we just heard the conversation. One important thing to realize is that this is a guide. Try not to follow it too much. This is just to show you the problem and solutions. Now you saw the words that I wrote down. Those are the important words. The question is always going to be the same. Students discuss solutions to one student's problem. What's the problem? Which solution do you think is best and why? So what we want to do now is we want to use our circles to organize the words in our notes. We're going to circle three things: the problem and the two solutions. What's the problem? The first solution? The second solution? Now, we leave this alone because we're going to use that for the second part of our answer. And if we circle it or underline it, it might get confusing. So, in your 30 seconds to prepare, your 20 seconds to prepare, you want to draw these circles. Now for the arrows. That lets you know your order, and you leave these words alone. But you have to choose which solution you think is best in your 30 seconds. The easiest choice is just usually the second solution, unless you yourself really want to go with the first. So, that's the solution we choose. Now, these are the responses to the solutions. So, if these support you, you're going to write the word as. If they go against you, you're going to write the word even though. So how do we do that? Well, Wilson, the other professor, is boring. And that supports us, right? That shows that she should quit her job, so we write the word as. Saving for a laptop, well, that's a reason why she shouldn't quit her job. That goes against us, so we write even though. She can use the computer in the computer lab. That supports us, so we write as. Now we're going to use this, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. So that's what we do in our 20 seconds. The circles, the arrows, the as, and the even though. A little tricky, but if you do this, you're going to give a good response and get a good score for this question. So now, we use our marker to help guide us, and we use our phrases to deliver our answer. So here's an example. In this conversation, The woman's problem is that she hasn't registered for her advanced political science course because the professor that she wants to take it with, the class is at the same time as her part-time job, so she doesn't know what to do. The students discuss two solutions. First, the woman take the class with another professor. Second, that the woman quit her part-time job. If I were the woman, I would choose the second solution because I don't think the first solution will work. As the woman said, Professor Wilson is the only other professor, and he's boring and doesn't explain things well. I think that the second solution is best because even though the woman is saving for a laptop because it doesn't work well, as the man said, she can use a computer in the computer lab and still take Professor Jenkins' course. So that's an example of our response. It's hard to prepare for, there's a lot of work, but if you get used to it and you practice and memorize it, question number 5 is going to shoot your speaking score up because you're going to do very well. And that concludes question number 5.